Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Comic Book Geezers. Welcome to another episode of the show. We've got a film review for you here today. Lots of you have asked for a review of the brand new Guardians of the Galaxy film, the third film, and I've brought all the way over from Sea of Tranquility and Hudson Valley Squares and the Monsters Den, Mr. Chris Allo. What's up, Chris?
What's going on, Pete? Thanks for having me on here, as always.
Thanks for joining me. So, Chris and I both happened to see the film over this last week. I think I saw it Tuesday, as a matter of fact.
That's what I saw.
Fresh in my mind, and figured we'd give you some thoughts on this third film and what they're saying is going to be the final film in the Guardians of the Galaxy film series. And Chris, what did you think of this film? I thought it was pretty damn entertaining.
I enjoyed it. I was going to say, right, we're going spoilers, so if you don't want to know what happens in the movie, don't
stop watching.
Don't watch this. I thought it was good. I thought it was very good. I thought it was a improvement over Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which had Kurt Russell as the living planet Ego. I just didn't like that movie, just didn't connect with me like the first movie did. The first movie was a lot more fun and entertaining and kind of lighthearted. This movie, it has its parts where it's fun and entertaining, but it is also extremely dark at times. I enjoyed it, but not as much as the first one. Part of me feels it's way too long. It's two and a half hours. Is too long. My big gripe, again, spoilers here. A huge chunk of the movie is the Rocket character is incapacitated, and they have to. It's a J.J. Abrams widget box where they have to go get a thing to fix Rocket. The problem with it is they don't finally get Rocket fixed until like an hour and 35 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
Like to me, this movie is parts of it remind me of Return of the Jedi. And I just kept thinking, Jesus, if Return of the Jedi was 2.5 hours, but it took an hour and a half to rescue Han Solo, you would be like, what the fuck? So to me, the whole time, I'm like, listen, we know Rocket is not going to die on the operating table. Just fucking move this story along. And even the length is fine. But, I felt like they should have got Rocket fixed because we know he's not going to die on the operating table. So let's hurry up that along. Adam Warlock, who they introduced in this movie, which I thought was interesting. And I was a huge comic book collector, Pete, in the 70s, into the 80s, and into the early 90s. But some of those Marvel Cosmic guys, I never really collected stuff on. So like the Jim Starlin, Captain Marvel, and Adam Warlock, I never collected those. But to me, in this version of Adam Warlock was very childlike.
Which was on purpose. Yeah, which was done on purpose. So to go back to Adam Warlock's debut in the comics, which started in the Fantastic Four, and then really his first big appearance was in Thor, where he comes out of the cocoon. He's very childlike. He's basically like a baby in a man-sized form. They called him at the time. They didn't even give him a name at the time. So I think what they were going for here in this film is that he is sort of freshly born, and he had all these childlike tendencies. He's basically just doing what they're telling. He's doing what they're telling him to do, right? So he goes and they tell him go, attack the Guardians and capture Raccoon. So of course we haven't said it yet, but the High Evolutionary is the main villain in the story,
which I thought was very good.
Yes, it was good to see him. Because not a major villain in the comics, but a really good one and a really intelligent one. And his thing was always creating these like perfect life forms and civilizations. That's always what he wanted to do. And that's basically the nuts and bolts of the story here, is that he wanted to go create a new race of beings to be absolutely perfect anti-humans on Earth. And he would go and create a new race and a new world, and hopefully everything will be fine and dandy. And when that doesn't work out, well, you got to experiment and find out what can be better, and then we'll start all over again. So basically Rocket Raccoon was basically part of this early race of experiments where the High Evolutionary was taking all these various animals and doing all sorts of weird stuff to them to create these like sort of perfect beings to then start up a new race with. That's the darkness of this film, is like of all the torture and experimenting that he and his minions were doing on all of these different animals, and it's a lot of them, and that's the sad part of the film. And Rocket was one of them, and he actually escaped from the clutches of the High Evolutionary after he found out really the evil plot that he was doing. And then, so a lot of the film is flashbacks to when Rocket was a baby raccoon, and then
Right.
going through the whole process with the High Evolutionary, then him escaping and so on. And spoiler alert, his close friends, three other friends, one was an otter, one was a rabbit, one was a like a sea lion, and those were his other oddities that he was close with, and they get killed. And that just totally, I think the reason, I guess they never come out and say it, but the reason why he's so bitter and so angry all the time has a lot to do with everything that happened with him in the beginning of his life under the clutches of the High Evolutionary and what happened to his friends. So you kind of, I think, understand him a lot better as a character in this film and why he is the way he is.
Oh yeah, it's really his movie.
Yeah, big time. Even though half the film he's not doing anything but laying comatose in a coma on an operating table, right?
Right.
So I think in addition to that, and by the way, I thought James Gunn did a very good job on this, making it a fun film. There's great soundtrack. I mean, every time you turn around, there's a cool 70s or 80s or even more recent song or something.
Well, I was going to say that too, Pete. I kind of, I really liked, they had Barracuda and they had Since You've Been Gone from Rainbow. But, to me, there was quite a few songs in the soundtrack. I didn't know what the fuck they were. Like, to me, in the first two movies, there was, like, I guess they used songs that
were a
lot
of 70s stuff,
a little more recognizable. And I'm sure some people won't know, Since You've Been Gone from Rainbow. Right. But there was quite a few songs where I'm like, when I'm watching a movie, I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't even know when this is from. Is this from the 90s?
There was some more recent stuff, yeah. I thought the use of No Sleep Till Brooklyn was great during that whole battle scene where they're going through that corridor.
Yeah, that was well done.
That was terrific. You know what I like the most about this film is that I think for the first time in the three movies, and even more than that, because most of these characters are popped up in the various Avengers films and whatnot, you really got a feel for who Nebula was and who Mantis was. And even, I mean, I thought Dave Bautista as Drax was great in this film. Yeah. He's got such dry comedic timing that I think we saw in all those other films, but I think it really, really shined really brightly in this film. And at the end of the film, I was feeling kind of sad that we won't see him playing this character anymore.
Right.
At least that's what he says.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I thought it was well done how they really put a period on the entire Guardians of the Galaxy saga. I mean, I guess if we're going to the end, again, spoilers here. To me, the most shocking thing was the ending itself, because I watch way too much YouTube, and I watch Midnight's Edge and John Campea and all the movie guys, and for months they've been placing odds on which members, and everybody was like, oh, it can't be just one, but which members of the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to die in part 3. And the shocking, which totally reminded me of Return of the Jedi, is none of them die. No. Not a single one of them. And then, like Return of the Jedi, it ends with them all celebrating with other people and singing and dancing. So to me, that really was the Return of the Jedi ending. So it was interesting. Part of me thought it was the nice fairy book ending that, none of our characters that we like passed away. And part of me thought, well, okay, it's kind of hokey, like Return of the Jedi, that everybody makes it out unscathed. Although, like you said, Drax, Dave Bautista said he didn't want to play Drax anymore. What's her name, who plays Gamora, was like, she's like, Zoe Saldana's like, I'm done with this franchise. Karen Gillan, who plays Nebula, she's like, I'm not doing this anymore. So then at the end they form a new team, which was Rocket and Groot,
Cosmo,
Adam Warlock, and Sean Gunn's brother, who has the arrow from what's his name?
Yeah, from Yondu. Yeah,
from Yondu, from right, Michael
and the
Rooker.
young girl, one of the young girls. Yeah,
Yeah, who I didn't catch that she was any kind of superpowered being when they showed her on the hamster wheel. But to me, I wouldn't think, and that was a shocker too, because I'm like, wait, we saw Sylvester Stallone and some of the other people. I thought that was going to be some of the new Guardians of the Galaxy team members going forward.
they kept them as
But
Ravagers, and yeah, just doing their thing. And
yeah, so that was kind of interesting. But I mean, I can't see them with that new team. I couldn't see them actually doing a Guardians movie, but I could
no, but I
certainly
bet
see
you
them.
they show up in other films. Yeah,
Yes, that's what I was just going to say, Pete. I 100% agree. I could see them showing up in other projects. You know, the Avengers movies coming forward, or whatever else they do.
Eternals or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Because I kind of think that the Adam Warlock story has only just begun. I
right,
can't imagine they would just do this.
right. Introduce
That's
this
it.
one character, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I good humor in it. I thought, you know, one of the things I've been down about some of the last couple Marvel movies, I've got Thor, Love and Thunder just stands out, is that it was trying way too hard to be a
Yes, too
comedy,
much comedy. Yep.
and it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
This was good humor because you had great banter back and forth between all the characters. And I think it really worked, and they didn't overdo it. And it was almost like the humorous bits were put in places where it made sense, but great action sequences. I thought the special effects were really good, good giant monsters and things.
I
And
thought it was a
whatnot.
great sounding movie. I mean, the theater
Yeah,
that I saw it in, man, the sound was incredible. I just thought it was a fantastic sound mix.
yeah.
So yeah, it definitely has its merits. Again, I think it was a big improvement over the second one. I don't think it could top that first one.
First one's really good. First
Yeah.
one's really good. But to me, this is was the most fun Marvel movie I think I've seen since that third Spider-Man.
Oh, 100%.
You know, granted, I've liked a few of them. Like I like Shang-Chi quite a bit. I like the second Doctor Strange a bit. The Eternals had its moments, but really was more of a miss. The Thor was pretty terrible. Black Widow was okay, and you
Yeah.
know, there've been more kind of. I wasn't crazy about Wakanda.
Yeah. I mean,
I
to me,
know.
I agree. These were all, everything since Spider-Man No Way Home was just, kind of was okay. Some of
Yeah.
it better than others, but yeah, I think this was the best since then.
And I think Star Lord, I think, is the guy who's probably going to have a big part in something else going forward.
Yes, that was very interesting that they, again, spoiler, they show him going back to Earth and hanging out with his grandpa, and it says, what does it just say? Something like Star Lord will return or something
Return.
like that.
Yeah. So I think
Um,
they've got other plans for him because the actor basically has said that he is very interested in continuing on with the character, which is funny because most of the other ones have said kind of like,
right.
I'm not sure. They left it. Mantis, the whole thing is open for her because the actress hasn't said one way or another about anything. And
Right. And listen, what else? What else have we seen her in? So it is surprising that some of the others are like, no, I'm out of here. But like in Batista's case, his career really seems to be going well. But also, James Gunn and him are very tight.
yeah,
James Gunn is now running the DC universe.
good to
Like
see
to
him over
me,
there, right?
Dave Batista would do great in a number of different roles. Like I would love to see him as Clayface
Oh,
because
okay.
Clayface would have so many roles inside of one role,
Yep.
and I think Dave Batista could nail that.
Yeah. Yeah. He's really good.
Yeah,
It's always interesting, Chris and I are both wrestling fans, so it's always interesting to see these former wrestlers go and into
yeah.
acting career. You got Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and John Cena now is all
John
of a sudden
Cena's
doing really
everywhere
good
now.
things, and you got Edge has done some stuff, and now you have Dave Batista has built like a nice career for himself. He's been in
Yeah,
a lot of movies now.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's come a long way since just, oh, there's the big muscle guy from wrestling.
Right, right. Now he wants to do like a romantic comedy now. That's like his goal. He's like, I want to do a rom-com. I'm like,
Yeah,
all right. Could he
yeah,
do
why
it?
not?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll do. I'm sure he'll do just fine.
Yeah. So, and how about Howard the Duck at the card table?
The card table, that was interesting. That was interesting. I mean, Greg, because when did we see Howard the Duck? Was that
He was in the
Was that the,
Collectors. He was with the Collector, I think, for a while.
right. So was that the Guardians movie or the Avengers?
I think that was the Guardians film.
Okay. Yeah. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
I actually thought there would have been more like more well-known Easter eggs, I guess. But there could have been some that I missed.
Well, that's the thing. Then you go watch Mr. Campia there, and he's going to point them all out to you, right?
Right.
So yeah, I haven't done any of that yet because I only just saw the movie a couple days ago. But I'm sure there are others that I didn't catch. There always are because they do a very good job of hiding those things. So yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, it was good. I might see it again because I think it's playing at the drive-in. But yeah, I liked it. I definitely liked it. I didn't love it, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I love, maybe not love.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah,
really enjoyed it. Yeah, I think this was the most fun I've had at a Marvel movie in a while. Put it to you that way. I left the third Spider-Man film, No Way Home. What was that called again?
Yeah, no, right. That was it. No Way Home.
Yeah. I walked out of that feeling really good and really enjoying it. It was pretty close with this one as well.
Yeah. Well, for me, I remember when I walked out of No Way Home, I was like, oh my God, I got to pee really bad. First, number one. But number two, I'm like, I got to see this again.
Again, yeah,
exactly. The whole multiverse thing, Pete, is something that I'm sure you and I never thought you would ever see a Spider-Man movie, let alone, a multiverse movie with Spider-Man from different universes. Well, that is such a comic book thing.
Oh, yeah.
That, never in a million years did I ever think we would see something like that.
That's true. That's true. Did you see the Ant-Man Quantumania yet?
I did, and that one I didn't like it.
Really? Yeah.
I thought it was the worst of the 3 Ant-Man movies.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any of them are great. They're okay, but yeah.
This was the worst, I think, I think the first one was the best. I think the second one was good, but not as good. And I thought the third one was pretty bad.
A couple of people I spoke to about it said that if it wasn't for Kang, it would be an absolutely wretched film.
And, even that, I don't think Kang was that great as a villain. I thought, to me, the High Evolutionary, I thought, was a better villain.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I really, and I don't know if I wouldn't say it's the acting. Maybe it was the way it was written. I mean, spoiler alert, Kang gets defeated in the Ant-Man movie. And to me, the Kang in the Ant-Man movie is the kind of villain, he kind of cuts a deal, which they give away in the trailer. And I'm like, okay, if you're like a villain and you're willing to make a deal with the good guys, then you're really not that much of a badass villain. Because Darth Vader wouldn't make a deal, and Thanos wouldn't make a deal. And to me, it didn't seem like the High Evolutionary was ready to make any deals.
No. No.
So I really thought Kang was not as impressive of a villain as I thought. They made him a little soft, I thought.
Kang is a good villain in the comics. He's not Thanos or Galactus or Doctor Doom.
And you just nailed it. And I'm like, Jesus Christmas. Well, with all these villains, you're going to have Kang carry 2 more Avengers movies? What's wrong with Doctor Doom? Where's fucking Galactus? I mean, they're probably saving them for the Fantastic Four movies.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But there's got to be somebody better than that. I don't know who, but
yeah. I mean, what they have to do with Kang, again, this is just me talking. I'm not saying they're planning this. Kang has got all these variants. Whether it be Tut and the Scarlet Centurion,
and they do show them in the secret scene at the end. There's it's like Madison Square Garden filled with all these different Kangs.
Yeah. So in order to make him really that potent and world beating,
right,
everybody's got to be like, oh my God, they're gonna have to introduce all these, right? I mean, that's the only way they're going to do it. I'm guessing that's the way they're going, but we'll see.
And I mean, who knows? Because now I know the actor got in trouble and there's issues there. So, and now there's the writer's strike. So everything, all the productions are shut down anyway.
Yeah.
Till they can get that cleared up. So
yeah. Well, for now, Guardians 3 is making lots of money.
Yes. Yeah. It's doing well, and it's definitely worth your time and money for sure.
Yeah.
And will be interesting to see, where they go with this in the future.
Yeah. So we'll see. So there you have it. 2 thumbs up from Chris and myself for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is in theaters as we speak. So go check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. If you want to wait till it comes on streaming, you might be waiting a little bit, but I think it's worth seeing in the theaters. Like we said, it's a great looking and great sounding film. It's definitely experience. So go check it out. So thanks for watching, everybody. Here on Comic Book Geezers, please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. We'll be back at you with some more stuff coming up shortly, myself or Wild Bill or the both of us or what have you. And I want to thank Chris Allo for joining me today here to do this little film review. Till next time. Thanks for watching Comic Book Geezers. I'm Pete Pardo. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.